Welcome to Synaptic Sparks' introduction video to the history of video games, presented by our Chief Technology Officer, Dave Maynard. This video is a short compilation of several different parts of the full presentation, which usually runs anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours. We hope you enjoy this quick trailer and can get a feel for how Synaptic Sparks workshops and mentoring would be presented in a K-12 class.
In the beginning, technology and science has always been sort of an unknown to the general public, right? If you were a farmer or something and there was something that was related in science or technology, you may not even really understand what it means. So what happened is that when nuclear power came up in the 1950s, it actually was a scare. And Hollywood, of course, jumped on this and decided to make movies from science gone wrong. So something like, these giant bugs, becoming these mutated monsters and rampaging the world. Hollywood scared people with this, saying that somehow this was possible. These giant ants were going to come and destroy the town. Or even Marvel Comics in 1962 created the Incredible Hulk from science gone wrong. So in 1958, one of these nuclear power plants opened up their front doors for the general public. So that way they could come in and tour and see that it's not a scary place. So the person who was put in charge of trying to make it fun was a guy named Willie Higginbotham. And, talk about a daunting task, to be able to say, make this instrumentation, these computers, look fun, and that's really difficult. But what he did is he actually created the very first video game. He took an oscilloscope, which is really just a piece of equipment that measures amplitude and things like that, and he took a block of wood with a button and a little wheel on it, and he created a game where you hit the button and move the wheel for sort of an English on the ball, and he created a tennis for two game, where you hit the button and it would bounce across the net, and then the other player would have to hit the button to bounce it back. But why is this key? Not only was he able to show that science and technology isn't scary, and it's not Hollywood with giant bugs and things, but it was also the first time that a piece of computing machinery, scientific machinery, was used for entertainment. Okay, so on the modern consoles, the ones that you guys have right now, the PS4 and the Xbox One and all that kind of jazz, you can really end up creating some very, very high fidelity graphics on these systems. A game that came out a few years ago, Skyrim. Look at the fidelity of that person on that screen. He looks like a real person. Or this dragon. That dragon looks like it's right out of a Hollywood movie. Now granted, that was a pretty large team that created that dragon. But think about it. When they created this game, they had a conference table full of really important people, designers and engineers and things, and somebody said, we're going to create the best dragon humanity has ever seen in a video game, and that's what they came up with, which is pretty good. It looks like Hollywood quality. So when I was 15, in 1984, on the Atari 2600, there was this amazing game that I loved. It was kind of the Skyrim of 1984, and it was called Adventure. And in this game, the dot was me, the arrow was a sword, and this chicken-looking thing is the dragon. Now think about it. The same thing happened in 1984 that happened for Skyrim. There was a giant room full of designers and engineers and things, and they said, we have to create the best dragon humanity's ever seen in a video game, and that's what they came up with. And you can laugh, but we love that. That is the best dragon at the time. I know it looks like Big Bird now, but we used to run home to play this game, just like you run home to play Skyrim, we run home to play this. Okay, so what did the engineer in the past both look like, and what did they work on? Well, here's a depiction of IBM 1950. And as you can see, these guys all look like they're going to church. They're all super straight, wearing suits. I don't even own a suit. But anyway, today, pretty much you can go to work as an engineer wearing normal clothes, jeans, things like that. It's a lot more relaxed. And of course, even the technology. Look at this picture over here. This guy is handing this other person this board. I can guess to what that is, but technology has drastically changed so much that that is really kind of unrecognizable even to experts today. Again, I think it may be shared memory or something, but again, it's changed so drastically that even this computer that you see down in this corner is nowhere near as powerful as the phone that I have. This is now exponentially more powerful than that computer depicted. So not only does the technology change, but the people change along with it. And I put a challenge out to anyone to come up with what industry in this day and age does not have some sort of technology embedded in it. You know, I've had some really great ones that said, "Is sheep herding?" Well, you could put GPSs on the sheep to make sure that you know where they all are. So I mean, really almost anything you could think of has technology in it. And as you can see here, I mean, we've got architecture and music, science and design. You've even, of course, got sports like the first down line that's on the football field. You know, that's obviously not real. That's technology. You know, here in the basketball, they're tracking the players, figuring out what their formations are. Even fashion design, and of course the creative arts like painting and drawing, something like you know, Corel or Photoshop. It's all technology. So once again, I challenge anyone to try to come up with an industry that does not use technology today. Anything you're interested in, you could be involved in engineering.
In addition to the history of video games, Synaptic Sparks also provides educational videos and workshops for nearly any K-12 STEM subject, all the way from digital art, cybersecurity, and special effects production.